Welcome to the Bold Book of the Day with Dr. Denise Nicholson, a show that is a central hub and safe space for authors to share their stories. The Bold Book with Dr. Denise begins now.
Today we have the incredible author Lilian Okech. Listen, if you are ready for some inspiration, I am happy to present Miss Lilian Okech. But first, everyone, welcome to Bold Book of the Day. My name is Dr. Denise Nicholson, and this podcast is for anyone looking for inspiration. Today's episode is with Ms. Lilian Okech. She is a wonderful friend of mine, and she is one of the first members of the Writing Incubator Challenge. And so I am happy, excited, and honored to welcome Ms. Lilian Okech. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, Lillian, this day is here. Your book is published. Your baby is born.
Can you believe it?
How does
Long
it
three
feel?
years.
Oh, wow. How does it feel?
It feel good when you finally send me the copy that I hold it in my hand, I feel empty because at the time I was pregnant with this idea and I just want it out and now it's out. I'm just like, now I'm empty. What is happening?
Wow. I guess it really is like giving birth. I mean, I hear that all the time that, you're pushing for so long, by the time you get to the end, you feel like you've emptied yourself. So that is a
Yes.
perfect description of how, one feel after. But Lillian, I want to tell people all about this book, but I want you to tell people all about the book and the journey. So first, why did you want to write your book?
That is just a great question. Let me introduce myself so people can know who I am. My name is
Yeah.
Lilian Okech. My parents originally from South Sudan. I was born in refugee camp in Uganda. We lived in refugee camp for 15 years. In '05, we had the opportunity to come to US. And when I get to US here, I see all the opportunity that we as immigrants have that we don't have in a refugee camp. And even though I was going through so much obstacle in my life, I always knew that it have to be something special because the first day I arrived in America, when I arrived in New York International Airport at JK International Airport, when I arrived there, the person who welcomed us in America, she was a woman, and when I look at her, she was walking towards my family with just a confidence. Right then, right there, I just look at her. I know there's something special and there's something different about this woman, and seeing her in a black suit and a brown coat, where I come from. I never see a woman in a black suit or a brown coat. So I was so fascinated with her appearing. I just wanted to be her one day. I said right there in the airport, I said, I don't know what all this woman is all about here in the airport because there was a lot of women and men, they're walking up and down. But for me, I was focusing on women, seeing the way they walk up and down with confidence. And I'm just like, one day I'm going to be one of these women. And so coming to US, facing all the obstacle, I still have the picture of our caseworker in my head. That woman in a black suit and a brown coat. I just want to be her.
Wow. How old were you?
I was 15 at the time.
Wow. It is impressive because at 15, you saw something that impressed you so much that you made a decision right then and there that I was going to be successful. I was going to be a successful woman.
Yes, power of word.
Powerful. Yes.
Power of word.
Yeah, and you've learned that that moment, even though you had no idea what that success looked like, you knew that moment defined that one day you were going to be. It may be just the way she presented herself or how the entire picture was, because she was there, it was other women there. You're looking at the contrast from where your mother is coming from as a woman and where this woman stands as a woman, and deciding then and there, I'm going to be like that woman, and a combination of both.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Wonderful. The book is called The Spirit of Warriors. What made you
Yes.
decide on that name for your book?
This book, listen, I've been reading this book since I get it, and I still cannot get enough of it. That I done a lot of things, but this is one of the things that, oh my goodness, the spirit of warriors is. I look back because remember when we started writing this book, I went back to Africa. I traveled through our village and see all these wonderful people, and I went all the way back when my mom was telling me the story of our grandpa and grandma and how they lived their life, and from refugees camp coming to America, meeting so many people that lead me to the journey where I am at right now at the moment, is the spirit of those warriors that they birth those spirit in me, and that what keep me going. So the book, even though I write the book, but because the spirit of our ancestor and of our people, of the people that come across my life and so on, so that is why every chapter you read there's a spirit of warriors connected to the story, because I want to reflect into, because of the spirit of the warriors or whatever happened in that chapter is what give me, is what lead me to be who I am today. So I'm so excited about this spirit of warriors. It actually, it birthed me into now stop being a warrior, that warrior queen.
Wow. Lillian, when I first met you, I was impressed immediately because you you came into our conversation when you were joining the Writing Incubator Challenge, and you came in with such strong beliefs about women's identity and what women should be able to accomplish. Immediately you were sharing with me your ideas of what you were doing and what you intend to do for the future, and I was like, this woman is impressive. Already the first conversation, you left a deep impression on me. What kind of childhood did you have to become this woman?
My childhood actually was opposite, because my mother was pregnant with me when they were fleeing South Sudan. Imagine a pregnant woman running for her life and exhale all those chemical that is being on the air because of either from bombing or from a gunshot. So she was exhale all those chemical in her. So that affect my lung. When I was born, I get
Mhm.
sick very early in my childhood, and I've been sick. Like my childhood was more like a sick child, because I always either coughing or have some kind of fever or something because of the environment. So when I start growing up, when you're in Africa at the age of 5, you pretty much know how to survive in life. And being in a refugee camp at 5 years old, growing my way out, because I'm always been sick, I avoid myself from being around my friends or being around the, the children that in my neighborhood, because I either always coughing or something going on. So I always like just alone and quiet in my own place. And so growing up like that, it sound bad, and it look bad, but at the same time not really, because when you are always alone, you tend to only focus on yourself. You tend to find who you are, and you tend to living more in your imagination than always playing with friends or going out with friends. And that was my childhood. When I grew up a little bit, at 9 years old, I have this friend who is now my husband in the book, on my real life, that is like a God sent person who, even when I'm playing alone, he always come and try to have fun and always try to make me feel better and try to make me feel belong. And from there I start kind of realize what love really is, or like what true friend really is. But even though he was there, because the way I was growing up, I always like I want my space. Even right now, as adult, it's best for me to just, I can be in the house the whole week without a phone call, without nothing. I'll be fine and just doing my thing.
Yes.
So that laid the foundation of who I am today, really.
A remarkable woman indeed. You know, when you first came into the Writing Incubator Challenge, you immediately you said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write this book, but I want this book to not just share my story. I want this book to be a book that I am going to be proud to leave for generations. So the generational story is shared and passed along.
Yes.
How did you come to put that together in the book? Because it sounds like a big task.
Absolutely. Remember when I come to you, I said, for me, because remember you was structuring us like you had to finish at this time, you get to send your manuscript at this time and all that. And I step back, I say, Denise, for me, this is not about me delivering my book out to the people, but the quality of my work. Because I'm always so very careful with everything that I do. And I read a lot of African authors who they write book. And most of the African author, they dwell on the pain that they go through. And the victory is very small at the end. And I said, we are such a warriors that if we can just disconnect ourselves from what the world put on us and find that warrior within us, we will be a much better, greater human being in this world. So that what I was very careful putting this book together, because I don't want it to be just like any other book. I want it for you. If you pick up this book, we will walk through the journey of my life, and you will find motivation, and you will find yourself, and you will find your superpower, and you will be like, okay, she said it, she did it, why not? Why not me? And that the quality. And here I am coming to Dr. Denise. I say, this is my vision. And we walk the journey together. You hold my hand, and I hold on to you until we deliver this exactly the way that the vision that God gave me, we deliver it just like that.
I'm so proud of you. Now, tell me, who's your favorite African author?
To be honest with you, I can't really answer that question at the moment, because
Mhm.
I haven't really found a book that I relate to. I know there's a lot of African author, and I haven't read a lot of their book. So for that being said, I can't really answer that book. I know there's a lot of great author out there, and the name of the woman, actually there's one woman from Nigeria where she's a really good writer. I like her work, but I forgot her name. But she probably will be one of them. But I can really answer that question at this moment, because it's not about giving credit or taking away credit, but I know they're doing a good job, and we all doing a good job. So I have to continue reading more African author book to come up with that question.
But how did you, like, who inspired you? Where did you get the idea that you can write a book? Who inspired you?
Who inspired me? I would say Oprah was one of them,
Okay.
but Loretta King, the wife of Martin Luther King Jr., when I read her book, ooh, that woman gave me a goosebump. And I
Wow.
said, she just such a powerful, because of her that Martin Luther is now well known, and Martin Luther has continued to be in history. And when you read Loretta King Jr. Uh, book, she's a really the foundation of Martin Luther, but a lot of people didn't know that. And so she was like this woman in Proverbs 31st, that she was behind her husband and standing with her and making sure, like, all the legacy that you see right now, the Martin Luther Day and the Martin Luther name on the street, she fight for that. And she's the one make it all come to life. So with that woman, I just love her. And I say, she's so powerful. And let me just write a book just like the way she did.
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. So your inspiration came from a number of women, including Dr. Loretta King. Wow. You know,
Yes.
I love reading also, but I remember the very first time you shared the dream of your book. I was like, you are going to do something brilliant. It already reminded me of some brilliant authors that I've read their work from the African continent, and say you're one of them. I remember I said, you have to read this book because Akpan is one of my favorite authors. And the way you shared that you wanted your book to unfold, like I said, this book, you have to read this book. It sounds like them. But I know you're inspired by a number of people, but I was inspired by you just in to put the book together because you were so meticulous about how you wanted things, and the kind of, even the art that you wanted to be displayed in there. Everything was so meticulously crafted. You took the time to do the research and put it together. So I am extremely proud of you. But who should be reading this book?
This book really, I would say I was targeting immigrant and refugees community, for them to find their voice and live their life knowing that they're in the greater country that is called America or Australia. Doesn't matter where you are in the Western world. I wanted to write this book because I see so many people in our community that so they are so talented, but they let their talent go to waste. And I'm
Mm,
just like, what can we do to really wake up these people, and let them see that they're living in such a great country, and they have all these resources, and they have everything that they need to help them to become the people that they want to become. And another part of this book, I want to write the story of the people who are curious to know who is in their neighborhood, to know who is around them. How can they learn more about these people? So now when people is like, where are you from? I just have a book. I say, here is my story. You can read more to know where I'm from and what I'm here for. And it's
yes.
so funny. It's so interesting that a lot of people that I share this book already with them, the testimony that coming from them is not only about the people that are refugees, but the people who are here in America, and they try their best to do everything they can to make the world a better place. This book is kind of expand and open their world to see world in a different point of view. Like yesterday, I just got an email from a woman who been working in refugees resettlement for a long time, and she's like, you make me start looking at the world and think about the life in a different point of view. So you motivate me to move and start doing something different. And that just melt my heart, because that exactly what I wanted this book to do. to
Yes.
present us as Africa, or it doesn't matter where you come from in this country, and to wake up the people, the citizen of America, to be like, oh wow, this is what these people been through, and this is what they're doing. How can we, society, come together and do more?
Wow. So if you were planning a very important meeting for women and young girls, who are the three women that you, whether they're alive or has passed on, who are the three women that you would invite to that meeting?
I think the first one, that who I was, a woman who have a burning desire to do more. She know that she can do more, but because of her environment, she feel limited.
Mm,
Those are the first women I will invite. The second woman are the women that they know that they are warriors inside, but they don't have the resource and they don't know where to start. That is the second woman I will invite. The third one will be the woman that they know that there's more in life and they don't know where to get there and they're afraid. They're afraid of taking the step to get there. And that way I was, all those three women, that way I was. I have the burning desire.
mm,
I wanted to do it. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I make a lot of mistake in my business, moving into this. So I wanted to be that light, to be like, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to let go. It's okay to feel alone. It's okay when people look at you different. It's okay to break the custom of the culture or tradition and find your true self. People may look at you different. People may judge you. People may say all kind of things to you. But if you can just follow your heart, and that's what I did, it lead me to be where I'm at. This is my journey, and this is, I believe, this is what I born for, because everywhere I go, I look at those opportunity. I look at those beautiful, strong women, and be like, you can become something if you can just go a little bit deep inside. So that is my one journey in life, and my middle name is Hope. So
wow, you can become something if you just dig a little bit deeper inside.
yes,
That
yes, yes.
is profound, Lillian. Wow. And I love that you covered all women in the three different categories that you named. Any woman who
Hmm.
has a desire to be more, she can find she can find inspiration from this book.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit of the story of this book. What is this book about? When I picked this up, what I know I've read this book several times, but for the reader who is wondering, what is the spirit of warriors? What is this about? Is this book for me? I'm going to tell you, yes, this book is for you, but I want the author to just describe some of the journeys that is depicted in this book.
The journey of this book, to put in a simple way, is about it's about this little girl who was born in refugees camp. Even though she were in refugees camp, she always lived in her imagination. And she always know there's something great out there. She don't know how. And walking through her journey, how she gets some of her motivation and some of the thing that she saw, like she was, when the first time she arrived in the capital of Uganda, it's her first time to see somebody on TV, and she captured that person she see on TV, and she wanted to become that person. And now she's walking her way. Well, before she come to America, because she was supposed to get here in 2021, because of September 11, she didn't make it, but she was old enough to know a different in the different life. She was old enough to live the different life, because if she were to come here in 2019, she was gonna be only like 9 to 10 years old. She will not remember much about Africa life. But for that incident to happen, for her to spend another 4 years, for her to become a little bit mature in Africa, and now walking her journey to America, going through all the thing that she go through. She got pregnant and she got forced into marriage, and she overcome all those to become a successful entrepreneurs and continue to motivate women. So all those little pieces in there, it's just it's just so amazing. Like the journey that is in this book, you feel you feel like you were walking. You feel like you were growing up with me when you read this book. But the beauty of it, it doesn't end with a sad story. It ends with victory, and that's just the beauty of it. And yeah,
So this book is for you. So Lillian, you said what year did you come here?
2005.
And you were supposed to come here in 2001,
Yes, yes.
the year that September 11 happened?
Yes, our name was on the board and everything.
Uh-huh.
And we were supposed to leave Uganda in September of 2001, September
Yes.
25, the date.
Ah,
Yeah, our
wow.
name was on the board and everything. And then
Mhm.
September 12th, we get a call. Everything is canceled. America is shut down. So
Wow.
that gave me another 4 years in refugee camp. Um, but I'm so grateful for that, because if I were, just like I told you, if I were to come here that early age, I would have not remember everything, or I would
Mhm.
have not taken our people or our tradition or our culture as is very important as I am taking it right now.
Hmm. God's
'Cause-
timing is perfect.
yes,
You
yes,
know, and although that event was a very sad event for many, many of us and many people worldwide, it still shaped the way that you were raised and the things that you dreamed of and the woman you became, so that you
yes,
could dream of a legacy as
yes,
this, leaving
yes,
this story of your journey and your people, because I know that this book is just not about you. This book
yes.
is about your people and your people's history and your parents. I love the story. I'm not going to share it, but you could probably share one. What's your favorite story? I'm not going to share what's my favorite, what is one of your favorite story?
Oh my goodness, so many into this book. That is my favorite. But the beauty of where I took people all the way in my village, how when a woman give birth to a child, that she will have to stay in a house 3 days for a boy and 4 days for a girls. And after that, after the 3 days or after the 4 days, the celebration will start. I always get captured with that because that's something that I live it and something that I love. And to make it come to life into a book and to help people like see what our beautiful tradition and our beautiful culture is, it's just so beautiful. But it's so many good good story into this book that every chapter I always like, every time I finish reading a chapter I'll be like, oh wow.
Yes, yes, me too, me too. Even so, I'm cheating a little bit because I've read the book, and I haven't read every single book that have interviewed people. But your book I've read because you're a part of the Write and Incubator Challenge, which is one of my programs, and I helped you from the very beginning to the end. One of my favorite stories in this book, one of my most favorite story, is you were on your way to taking yourself back to your homeland many years. I think it was 15 years later after you left the country. You lived in America, you became a wife, you became a wife that was forced into marriage, and you had children, and it was time to go full circle and go to the motherland where you were conceived. And I don't think the bike rider could take you to continue on that journey with you on the road, and you had to get off. You remember that story? You had to get off the bike and walk for miles, and you kept saying, "Wait a minute. Wait. Am I still walking? Why am I still walking?"
We walk for the whole day, and that's actually one of many favorite. But that's my favorite part is when I landed my feet in South Sudan. I see the rain. The rain was coming from Tower. You see those rain that can come from the hill. You can see it with the noise. The rain
Yes.
was coming toward from South Sudan toward Uganda, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
right there in the border. So every time I think about that, it gives me chill because it's just so much happening in that moment that you have to grab this book to read it. But that moment, it changed my life forever. So it motivated me to the point where it motivated me to write this book because every time I question life, there have to be a reason for me to being here. I always think back to that moment. And walking, like, because it rained, the motorbike will not go any further, so we have to walk all the way from the border to my village. And I remember we walked for about 2 or 3 hours, and my sister, she was ahead of us. I don't know how she was ahead of us. So it was so funny. When we left Uganda, there was about 6 of us, but after we get to the border, I don't know what happened, but I find myself walking alone. And I needed that moment to take it all in. But I was just like, I don't, this is my first time being in in my country. How am I be walking alone and I'm not even sure where I'm going? I just follow the trail where they walk.
Mhm. Yes,
And I
I
found
remember.
her waiting for us. I like, how long more do we have? And she said, about 2 or 3 hours. Just like nothing for her.
It was really funny. I can't wait for the world to get their hands on this book. It is well written. You did an excellent job just putting together and bringing in, harvesting. I think what you did, your research was more like harvesting,
Yes.
bringing in all of this content to be organized and then distributed so that the world can get a taste of what it's like to be from a rich continent. And because of the turmoil, because of war, because of all the different things that were happening, you ended up in a refugee camp. And yet that camp shaped you to be this brilliant girl for such a time as this, to be an inspiration, to be a motivator, to be a woman of hope, just like your middle name. And I feel like whoever pick up this book, they're going to be inspired, they're going to be motivated, and they're going to feel the hope that came from that little girl, that even though so many things was going on around her, God implanted hope inside of her. And now you're distributing this hope in a book called The Spirit of Warriors. Lilian, you are amazing. And you have put together a brilliant piece of work. And I can't wait for the world to see it. Tell me when can they get their hands on this book? And where can people get their hands on this book?
April 1st, we
So
are
it's
going
available
to.
now.
It's available now. You can pre-order it.
Yes.
But April 1st, where we will launch it to the world, and you can get your digital copy or your hard copy from anywhere. Amazon, Bunny Novel. You probably know better where to get all this book from. But yeah, you can get it from anywhere. You can get it from my website,
What's your website?
lilianokech.com. My
Okay.
website is lilianokech.com. So it's LILIANOKECH.com.
Make sure you write that down because you want to get your hands on a copy of this book. Now, Lillian, here are three questions that I like to ask every single author that share this stage with me. And it is, what is a bold promise that you can share with the world?
Bold promise I can share with the world.
Mm-hmm.
I never really have fear in life. I know this sound like it doesn't sound real, but everything I do, if I open my mouth to do something, I'm boldly going for it. And I don't care what it takes. Writing this book, I remember staying late until 4 a.m. in the morning, and I have to get up at 6 to take my kid to school and run my business. But I was committed because I truly believe that there have to be a reason why you are sent in this world at this moment, at this time. You could have been here back in the time of Jesus. You could have been here back in the time of Moses. You could have been here back in the time of Martin Luther, but you're not. You're here in time of pandemic.
Yes, yes.
So, what is it that you have in your hand that you can be so bold about and make it come to life?
Yeah.
And I truly believe we have all this superpower in us. We just have to really probably go in our quiet moment to be like, to question. I always question God. I'm like, it can be it can be it for me. It can be, I always question. And that what lead me because like, what is my reason for being here? Why am I here? What can I do? Why am I here? I always ask that question. Why am I here? I don't want to play
Yes.
small. I don't
Yes.
want to go like, I don't want to be remembered by the stone on my, when when I will be buried in a cemetery. I don't want to be remembered by the stone. I want to be remembered, even if the stone is not there, people will still remember my name.
Yes. Oh, powerful. What is one bold promise that you can share with the world that, or with your audience, that can help them make a, a decision that will help to better their future?
My bold promise that I tell to anybody who want to change their life or anybody who want to do something in this world is that don't do it for anybody. Don't do it for your family. Don't do it for your friend. Don't do it for your parent. Do it for you. Because sometimes your parent can stop you from becoming the person that you want to become because they want the best for you from their point of view. They don't see what God have in you. So
Yes.
be bold enough to believe in yourself. Be bold enough to do this for you. There's a quote that I really love. It say, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside will do us no harms.
Woo! Write that down wherever you are. Write that down. Yes. Powerful. Very powerful indeed. I have a third question, and it's, what's a bold move that you'd like to make in your future?
You do not want to see my vision board right now.
I can imagine. Name one.
Oh my goodness. I want to. This is going to be the boldest, and it's scary me. It's very scary to me. But everybody I talk to, they're like, wow, this is needed, and you have to do it. I want to build African Museum in Iowa. I don't know where the money is going to come from. I don't know how, but I already start talking about it, and everybody's like, we can do it. I want to build this museum where if people are not able to go to Africa, you will come with all the technology that we will put in there. You will feel like you went to Africa.
That is a bold move. And I know you. I know you. So count on it, people. There will be an African museum in Iowa
Yes,
presented by or curated with Lilian Okech. If I'm
yes.
telling you, I'm as sure as I know her, I know that is going to happen. I am so very proud of you. You are a woman of your word, and you are the perfect example of, you're the perfect example of, if I say it, if I can dream it, it's going to happen.
Yes.
Beautiful. Your life is
You have to
amazing. Your
say
life
it,
story is amazing.
say it, dream it, and write it down.
Yes. Wow. Where can the audience connect with you? If we want more of you, where can we connect with you?
I'm actually working with somebody. After the book launch, I'm going to do a book tour. So follow me on social media. Follow me on Facebook at Lilian Okech, Instagram Lilian Okech, LinkedIn Lilian Okech, and all other social media. I use the same name. So we're going to do a book tour all over United States. Next year, I'm planning to do a book tour all over the world. So the year after that, I'm gonna do a conference in Uganda. I've not even told you about that, but you're on
Woo!
the list. So we're gonna do a big women conference in 2025 in Uganda. And so just yeah, you follow me. There's much more to come. Like I said, I want to die empty, and I'm doing everything I can to let all my give out to the world.
I am there. Now that's Lilian Okech on Instagram,
Yes,
Lilian Okech on Facebook, Lilian Okech on all social media platforms. And
yes.
you can send her an email at,
Lilian Okech. Lilian at lilianokech.com.
see, you can stay connected with this brilliant, amazing author of The Spirit of Warriors. Now, if you would like to write a book and publish it and you just don't know what to do, please send me an email at authordnicholson@gmail.com. It will be my pleasure to hold your hand until the very end. Now, please go out there and get Lillian's book, The Spirit of Warriors. It is available on every platform you can think of, on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble, on 50 different platforms. And you can get it at her website. So please connect with her and make sure you get your copy. And try to connect with her so that you can be one of the people in the audience when she's doing this world tour. Okay, doesn't matter where you are in the world, Lillian has a plan to be there. So make
Yes.
sure that you connect with her so you can be there. Lillian, what do you want to tell the people before you go?
I want to tell people the power of a storyteller is so powerful that, and you have to have the right people to walk with you through that journey if you believe that you can tell your story. And for me, happened to be Dr. Denise. I highly recommend you. The power of a storyteller is it takes us in this different world that we want to build, we want to live in. And I always believe in that. So you don't have to wait to do something great in this world to share your story. You never know how your story may touch somebody's life, how your story may save somebody's life, how your story may motivate somebody's life. You may just think like, oh, this is just my story. But there's a reason why you are allowed to go through all those pain. So turn your pain into hopeful journey, because the good book said everything work out, everything will work good for those who believe.
Love the
So
Lord. Yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
so everything will work out for those who love the Lord. So it doesn't matter what kind of pain you go through. There's somebody there that will readiness with you, that will want to hear your story. So don't be afraid, and don't think that, oh, this is too big of a job, I can do it. Yes, you can. You have the right people by your side.
Lillian, thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey in the Spirit of Warriors. Please get your copy today. Thank you so much for joining. I love you, and I love that you found the time to come up here on the Bold Book of the Day. Everyone's going to get your book, and this is the book we're going to read this entire week, guys. So get your book. And after you've read your copy, send me an email and tell me how incredible it is, because I know you will agree. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for the Bold Book of the Day with Dr. Denise Nicholson, a central hub and a safe space for authors to share their stories. Follow Dr. Denise on Facebook and Instagram at Denise Nicholson, or go to denisenicholson.com. Remember, no one can share your story better than you.